I'm Arijit Ghosh, and we are at the Learning for a Sustainable Future Teacher Conference here in New Delhi. I'm in conversation with Lissa Chazot from Mahatma Gandhi International School, Ahmedabad, and Asha D'Costa from Udayachal High School, Mumbai. Welcome.
Thank you.
Both of you have presented papers at this year's teacher conference. Can you briefly talk about your intervention of embedding core skills within the curriculum?
So essentially, I focused on the core skill digital literacy, and I embedded it within the curriculum, the IBDP, so which is high school English curriculum in my school. It's an extremely rigorous program which for non-native English speakers becomes a little difficult to sort of ace. And essentially, the students were doing very well in most of the criteria, except the first one, they were stumbling upon context, purpose, and audience. Because essentially, the exam format required them to sort of answer an unseen passage and analyze it and talk about context. So we really sort of, through this journey together with British Council, I focused on addressing that challenge because the grades were suffering in that one criterion. And so in the intervention that I used in ICT, I focused on an online collaborative tool wherein students could, about 20 students could work together on a single document which is available online. I worked on Socrative, which is an online polling service which teachers can use, and then the feedback mechanism is immediate. So it makes it sort of gamifies the entire process, and it's student driven. And the third tool that I used was Explain Everything on the iPad, where students were able to sort of create a new outcome, synthesize their understanding, and create an outcome using their understanding for an audience. So overall, at the end of the entire journey together, what I saw was that there was a marked increase in the students' ability to be able to express their understanding of context, purpose, and audience, which was the objective of the study. And there was also a marked increase in the grades that were allocated to the students later on. So I think overall it's been a very fruitful journey and a very rewarding one for the students as well.
Fabulous to hear. How did you embed core skills within the curriculum?
Yeah, I embedded the core skills within the curriculum by first choosing on a topic. So if the year 2016 would go down as the year of demonetization, the year 2015 would definitely go down in India as the year of intolerance. And that was the topic that I chose to have a case study with the students. And first I wanted to know whether this topic is a little beyond the realm of the children. Does intolerance, does it exist within the classroom? And so I had a questionnaire. Okay, I got the pupils to fill in a questionnaire, and they were very, questions which were related to their own life and their time which is spent within the classroom. Now, for example, would they share their lunch with the students who do not have the same eating habits? So would a non-vegetarian person, would he be invited to share his lunch with a vegetarian person, especially if he belonged to the Jain community? And the results were very startling. Okay, and the revelations were that people were intolerant in the classroom. So then I realized that, yeah, the topic was viable and it was very suitable for the class. So when we can bring about a change within the classroom, forget the country comes second. So if I can bring about a change within the classroom, certainly the country we can look for, we can definitely bring about a change much later than that. And after the questionnaire, so I realized, okay, the questionnaire did tell me that, yeah, intolerance does exist. So how do we go about solving the thing, and how do we bring pupils from zero intolerance to zero, to being a tolerant community, you can say. So then I took up the questioning method. Then we had a dramatization of a very famous fable, The Six Blind Men and the Elephant. Okay, and through that we studied that how these six blind men, how they perceived that each aspect of the elephant was, what they perceived was correct. And as if I have an analogy with religion, the same thing. Each religion has certain things which are right. After all, they are the same. They are different parts of the same God. So that's how the pupils realize that if we fight over religion, we are bickering over a very, minor issue which may, in which everyone is correct. No one is in the wrong. And then from dramatization, we went to looking at India in a new perspective. So we took 8 incidents which gave India the tag of being an intolerant society, and we then looked into the perspective of the person who might have felt threatened to live in India at that time. So we had a comment by Ghulam Ali when his show was cancelled in Mumbai, what he might have felt. So when he said that it was his coming to Mumbai, having a concert was merely a tribute to Jagjit Singh, who is actually an Indian. So I mean, pupils then felt, yes, cancellation was not the right thing. We ought to have taken the perspective of Ghulam Ali, and then we could have actually passed a diktat saying that, yeah, the show needs to be cancelled. And then we looked at the Dadri incident, where a man was lynched to death on grounds of eating beef. And then 3 months later, a report was published over the meat that was taken. Samples of meat were taken, sent to the forensic department, and it was later proven that the claims of the family was true. It was the meat that was consumed by the family was actually mutton and not beef. So then the pupils realized that when we look at only things from one perspective, we are actually going the wrong way, and we will certainly do things which we will condone much later. So we need to take perspective. We need to be, we need to have something like perspective awareness, that besides our own perspective, others also have a perspective, and we need to, pay attention to it, and we need to give them also their importance. And so through questioning, perspective, and dramatization, I could help the pupils change their mindset, and then the journey has begun, from where the pupils have become a little more tolerant of the other people's eating habits and the religion that they follow. And that is how I perceive that British Council training has brought about a new, you can say, has changed the mindset of the pupils, because I have been able to embed it in my curriculum, and in a way, I have been influenced, I have changed, and the pupils have changed after that.
Fantastic. Nice to hear that. Lissa, you spoke about the intervention and targeting one specific area where your students were not scoring well. So what is your next big plan after you have achieved that objective?
So in the pipeline, I had mentioned very clearly at the time of the level 2 digital literacy workshop, essentially I want to digitalize the entire curriculum. And I've been working towards that, making sure that the resources are available to the students regardless of whether the teacher is there, not there, the school is on, not on. So ensuring that learning continues beyond the classroom walls, beyond the classroom hours. That's number one. Number two, also I realized the importance of ensuring that feedback is documented, so ensuring that there are mechanisms of digitally archiving recorded feedback, because very often what happens is over the 2-year program, because it's one program, in the diploma program, it's a 2-year program, so you are assessed over 2 years rather than 1 year. And so essentially what happens is that teachers painstakingly give feedback in, let's say, the first semester, second semester, third semester, and by the time you reach the last semester in grade level 12, the students have forgotten the feedback given in the first semester. So ensuring that the feedback is archived, and that to that effect, technology is a great aid. So ensuring that I use a lot more technology to record feedback, and using tools to ensure that students get instant information. So when you use tools such as Socrative, what happens is that you can feed in the answers beforehand, and as soon as the students click on submit, they get access to all the answers. So what happens is that the load on the teacher also reduces. So ensuring that a lot more such tools are used in the classroom, not only by me, but also by my colleagues. And that is a journey which I have begun, and very successfully. I can say that all the courses in grade 11 and 12 have been digitalized.
Fantastic. Congratulations for that. Apart from presenting your paper, you have been a participant in the other sessions of this 2 days of conference. What is your biggest takeaway from this conference?
Okay, my biggest takeaway would be, I think, the session by Gareth, okay, as well as I was pretty much inspired by the Deputy Chief Minister, I guess Sisodia's speech, wherein he asked us instructors that we are always very, preoccupied with the how of teaching, but we have not yet been able to, answer the question, the why of teaching, why are we teaching? we're so preoccupied and pressurized by, deadlines of completion of portion, then correction, and then attending workshops, and also we have actually lost the actual essence why we have taken up this profession. So he did, it was like a journey down memory lane. So I could recollect my BA days wherein we were told that the importance of having taken up this profession, the why of teaching and not the how of teaching.
Nice to hear. What about your reflections? What is your biggest takeaway?
I think, one of my biggest takeaways is that, it really brings together like-minded teachers from across the country, and that is such an asset because you are able to network, connect with others, create, partnerships that can continue beyond the scope of this conference, but also the access to a lot of resources which have been shared, new opportunities, forging new ties, new ideas. What's really been a blessing is the opportunity for teachers to be able to become heroes, so to speak, and to be able to come on a podium and share their experience. Usually it's, policymakers, heads of schools who come on a podium and share, their vision or what needs to be done in the field of education. And yet, really, the change makers are the teachers. And what's been wonderful is that the British Council gave that platform for teachers from across the country. And at different levels, not only high school, but also primary, pre-primary, to come together and share good practice. And I think that is one of the very big takeaways. In fact, I hope that British Council, increases the duration of the sharing of practices that was done between 11 and 1:30.
Thank you.
I would sum it up by saying one small initiative by BCL and one giant step for education and the teachers.
Thank you very much. I was in conversation with Lissa Chazot and Asha D'Costa.